If you had the opportunity to live in a children's wonderland, would you choose anywhere else? We don't just say, we do. It's the Stain City way.
Welcome to Real Talk with me, Anele, right here on SABC3. The stage is yours. Today, we have two Bobs on the show. One is a radio and television legend, the other a global entrepreneur. First to join me all the way from the US of A, the author of more than 26 books, including the international, self-published, Personal Finance, Rich Dad, Poor Dad series, which was the international bestseller that held the top spot on the New York Times bestsellers list for 6 years. Welcome, global entrepreneur, investor, educator, speaker, Mr. Robert Kiyosaki. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you. Thank you.
Listen, you've got a special bond with South Africa. It's like there's like a global hug going on here.
Yes.
I want to know all about it.
Well, it's the spirit of the country, of the land. Every country is a different spirit.
Yeah.
And, excuse me, you can hear it in your music, you know. That's what I'm talking about. There's something goes, the power of the spirit of the land, the people, the animals, very, very strong. So it's, plus I'm a rugby player.
You are?
Yes.
What position? Let me guess. 8th man.
Oh, I wish. I was
wing.
I was a prop.
Prop? No, you were too small to play prop.
I know, but I wanted to play.
Clearly everyone else was like looking up at you because I wouldn't have guessed that.
And I was playing prop against Samoans in Hawaii. Oh. And Samoans, they're big,
what a nightmare,
fast, and they have no nerve endings. They don't know pain.
They come with registration numbers in case they run you over so you can claim from insurance.
Yeah.
All right?
Well, I love the game so much. So when the Springboks are playing, you know, it's my spirit here.
And when did you first get introduced to Johnny Clegg's Scatterlings of Africa? Because I know, you know, there's a tie there as well.
I have a lot of South African friends, and that's who they talk about. Okay. They say he speaks for the people.
He does.
He does, doesn't he?
And he was the first person to not be black and not be white.
Correct.
When it comes to
Correct.
music, you know, like in the
Correct.
eras of the Miriam Makebas and the Hugh Masikelas, like
Correct.
it was the leveling ground. So I see that.
Yes.
And then my curiosity goes further with St. Andrews, the school.
Well, it was you know, the story of Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah.
Is my poor dad was head of education for the state of Hawaii, PhD from Stanford, University of Chicago, Northwestern, and I was his kid, and I was really stupid. And I flunked out of school all the time. It's just because I wasn't interested, you know. So I don't go to schools very often. I stay away from them.
Because you get them, you like, on paper you're all smarter than me, but in the bank, I win.
It's money talks, as you know. It's all about the money. So anyway, my friend, because I'm out here all the time, my friend says, would you come and teach the kids at St. Andrews? And it's kind of like Johnny Clegg. You got to step up. Do you know what I mean? You got to overcome your fears. And with me, it's school. It's not race, it's school.
Yeah.
You know, people like my dad was a PhD. I was always told I was stupid in school.
And St. Andrews, Grahamstown, the school you have a tie with, they're a very good rugby playing school, eh?
Yes, and cricket.
Yes, yeah.
So I went to St. Andrews, and for 2 days, my accountant and I taught them. And it was such a great experience. You know, it was magical. Because it's about time we have financial education in our schools. Because yes, you know, we don't learn anything about money at schools.
You learn about money when you get your first paycheck.
Yeah.
And even then, it's like, what? I'm rich, and then you blow it.
Well, then you get this paycheck, and you know, where'd all the money go? Well, the government took it.
Do you know what I'm saying? After pension and tax and everything, you just like what to do. Now, 26 books, all speaking about finance. And you, when we speak like financial gurus, international ones, your name comes up first. I want to know, for you, what is more important than money? Because if you're looking from here, money is the only important thing for you.
Well, it's not that money is important. Money is everything. Money is in education, politics, environment, religion. Everything is money.
Religion.
But nobody talks about it. You ever notice that? And so people spend their lives chasing the buck, the dollar. You know what I mean? And the U.S. dollar is counterfeit money, same as the rand. And if you're chasing counterfeit money, means the government prints as much as they like, why would you work for it? Why would you save it? And so the reason I think I'm kind of on top is I'm the bad guy. I teach what the rich know, and the rich don't pay taxes. The rich use debt. The rich do everything.
Wait, when you say the rich don't pay taxes, are you saying, let me just break it down, because when you say the rich don't pay taxes, that means they're doing criminal activities. So
No, I'm not a politician.
We will speak about your friend Donald Trump later, my friend.
My buddy Trump doesn't
Your
pay
buddy
taxes
Trump,
either.
we're going to talk about later. But because I find rich people always have ways to avoid tax in a legal way.
Correct.
So it's like buy 20 houses, buy 20 cars, buy this, so that your tax will come down. Is that what you mean when you say the rich don't pay tax?
No, it's what they don't teach you in school is tax. You see, all tax law is telling you how to partner with the government. So when I buy a house, I'm not partnering with the government. But when I build apartment houses, I'm a partner with the government because I'm providing housing. And when I provide jobs, like I have about 1,600 employees through all my different companies, I get tax breaks because I'm an employer and they tax employees. So if I came to South Australia, so I'm coming with 1,000, I'm going to create 1,000 jobs in South Africa, they give me tax breaks.
So
You see, I'm a partner with the government. I'm not a criminal.
Okay.
But
So
they don't teach you that in school.
Going on what you're saying about the 1,600 people that work for you, South Africa is going through a phase where there's a big versus, it's employed versus entrepreneur. You do realize this whole thing, right?
No, it's not just South Africa.
Oh, okay.
America is coming apart also right now. And it's the middle class is saying, my kids don't have jobs. We're losing our jobs.
Yeah.
But the rich are getting richer. The title of my latest book, Why the Rich Are Getting Richer.
Okay.
So this is graduate school. Rich Dad Poor Dad was elementary school.
Oh, I like that.
So this goes why the rich don't pay taxes.
Okay.
Why the rich use debt, not money. So debt and taxes make me rich. Debt and tax makes the poor middle class poor.
So if I'm one of the 1,600 people that work for you and I'm employed by you,
Right.
You encourage me that one day I must break away from you and do my own
Yes.
thing. And is that the motto of the company?
Yeah, I'm very upfront with them.
Okay.
So they don't invest in the stock market. I encourage every one of my workers, in most of my companies, not all companies, to be their own investor, manage their own money, find ways. So we teach them how to be a partner with the government so they pay less tax. For example, my personal assistant, she makes more money because she doesn't pay tax either, because she's a real estate investor. You see, you can't do that in the stock market. But everybody else tells your employees invest in the stock market. But my employees have their own properties and their own managers, so when you have real estate and you have debt, she pays zero tax too.
So you all about your main stance in how to make money is property and real estate.
Not really. It's really about education and being an entrepreneur. So my objective in life, my poor dad, the PhD, which stands for poor, helpless, and desperate.
You're so spicy.
I know. Because I was always being kicked out of school because I was a stupid guy. I said, I'm not the stupid guys. You guys are the stupid guys. Education is really important. I'm just being a wise ass.
Yeah, I love it.
But anyway, it's if you understand, I never wanted a paycheck.
You wanted to pay the checks.
Yeah, I wanted to never need a paycheck or a government pension or a retirement plan. So I'm completely a rich man because I'm a free man. You're never free until you're financially free. So as you know, it's not about race or gender or anything like this or age. it's really, you can't fire me because I don't have a job.
Hold that thought. After the break, Robert will be telling us about the latest books. We've touched on it. You don't want to miss this. And why there's a big difference between being poor and broke.
Yes.
Now you've heard about the prophecy. Let's find out exactly what it is that is more important than money, but also why do the rich keep getting richer? Before we go there, there's a guy that you two are basically twins, right? You both had rich dads. You both went to the military. You are both authors. You're both entrepreneurs. You both are in real estate, and you both had television shows. Who's this person?
Well, unfortunately, he's president of the United States right now, Donald Trump.
And he's your friend, right? You guys.
Very good friend.
Very
yes.
good friend.
Yes.
How's it going there? What do you think of him right now?
Well, he's politically incorrect.
But?
And he has a bad disease called open mouth, insert foot. I don't know why he tweets what he tweets. But they're getting, they keep goading him and he blows up. I'm the same way. I'm very explosive,
Yeah.
And he says things that I think just set him back all the time. Yet he's doing great things. Like he went to NATO and he says, you guys better pay up. And he got out of the Paris Accord because it's really killing U.S. jobs. So Donald Trump is really a working class guy, rich guy. I'm also a working class guy. We have the same values.
Yeah.
And we don't like what we call the elite. The elite went to Harvard, Princeton, Yale. I hate to say it, it's Obama and Hillary.
Yeah, I know, because I watched a video where you were talking about how Obama's only ever been an employee.
Yeah.
And that's why, you
Harvard graduate school.
Yes.
And an attorney.
Yeah.
You understand?
But never an entrepreneur, which is the advantage that Donald Trump was.
Yeah, you understand, my most important job is I have 6 different companies, 1,600 employees. My most important job is to keep them employed. So when Hillary and Obama and basically the liberal elite left, I'm not Republican or Democrat either. They say, well, it's okay if our jobs go to China and Mexico and Hungary and all this stuff, but my employees get afraid. And so our job is to protect the worker. Because Trump and I are working class guys. Those guys have no employees.
But can you just tell him to just not talk, just...
Hey, his son, Don Jr. and Eric and I are good friends, and I tell him the same thing. He says, you can't tell my dad anything.
Just a little, just a little.
Oh, when you get him.
Listen, have you ever been
But
sad?
He's a great guy. No, he is. In one-on-one.
Okay.
But what the media hates him, as you know. They hate him.
But I mean, he was the media for the longest time.
He is the media today.
He is the media. Look, he is the majority of what the media is about today. But
It's Donald Trump.
It's Donald Trump. I mean, ever since I've been around, I've known about Donald Trump. So he was the media.
Yeah.
So have you ever been sad about being right about something?
Me?
Yes.
I can't remember being right.
Well, the prophecy, you said there's going to be a crash, and it crashed.
It's crashing.
It's crashing.
And you can tell, people say, well, the stock market's up.
Yeah.
Well, there's different markets. And what's crashing today is the foreign exchange market. So the rand is dropping or going, the dollar rand.
Depends how you look at it.
And it's called a currency war. So when the rand weakens, your people get poorer. They have to work harder, pay more tax. So, as I always say, what did school teach you about money? Answer's nothing. You say, well, we have economics. That's not economics. Money is really debt and taxes. You have to understand the game of debt and taxes.
So what are you saying to us in your books is that if you can find a way to pay less or no tax and keep your debt down, that's when you become rich?
No, by increasing debt, you pay less tax.
Oh.
Everything is opposite.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Look, this book here, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, says...
I'm back.
It says, what the rich teach the kids that the poor and middle class do not.
And your rich dad taught you this. How did you get into a conversation where you are with your friend's dad and he's rich? Your dad is not rich. Your friend's dad is rich. And you just start speaking money with them?
Because I went to a rich white school and all my friends were white and rich. And I went to my dad and said, how come we're poor? Because my dad was head of education, PhD, Stanford, University of Chicago, one of those elite like Obama.
Yeah.
And he says, well, you stay in school. I said, hey, Dad, you stayed in school. You're still poor. I said, how come my friends' fathers are rich? He didn't know.
Doesn't that insult your real dad, poor dad, a little, that you are out there running around adopting other dads when you have one?
Well, because it's more, my dad's dead.
Yes, I know it.
If he had read this book, he'd die faster. No, my dad was a great guy, but he got fired too. So when he got fired, because he ran against the governor of Hawaii, because Hawaii is the single most corrupt state in America. Did you know that the Supreme Court justices of Hawaii had to resign? The Supreme Court justices had to resign for corruption. When the Supreme Court is corrupt, that's how corrupt Hawaii is.
Do you want me to match that? Our police commissioner, had to be thrown into court because he was best friends with the biggest gangster in the country.
Well, who do you think our governor is? Our governor and the biggest governor and the biggest gangster are all police officers. That's Hawaii. And my dad said, he was a great guy. He says, I won't put up with this anymore. He ran against them and they took him out. So and then he couldn't find a job. And when I came back from Vietnam, I was a pilot in Vietnam.
A helicopter pilot.
Yeah, and my father says to me, go to school, get my master's degree, get my PhD. And I said, what, work for the government?
I like that he cracks himself up. I love it. Okay, before we let you go, what's the biggest crit that your naysayers have to say about you?
That people cannot do what I do. That's true.
So you are an anomaly.
No, it's that there's rich, poor, and middle class. And I have the education to be rich because they don't teach them nothing about money at school. But I have the education. So I go around the world. The reason I come to South Africa once a year is I teach. I'll be at the NAC in Pretoria, and I teach people why the rich are getting richer. I don't tell them to save money. I don't tell them to get a job, and I don't tell them to invest in the stock market. But that's what the poor and middle class do.
Can we all be rich?
It depends on the individual. Can everybody be a Springbok? Well, how bad do you want to be a Springbok? Okay. That's really the question.
So you understand that I could read all of your books and be like a really lovely person and still not become rich because I just can't convert.
No, there's millions of ways you can get rich, okay? But the question is, how bad do you want it? And most people want to be comfortable. They don't really want to be rich. That's the problem. So, like on Saturday night, Ashwin, Willems of the Springboks, he and I talk about what it takes to have a team. So the average person doesn't have a team. They're out there like by themselves trying to take on the Springboks. And I go into the world of business with my team. So my team will be there, and Ashwin's going to be there talking about what it's like to play on a team. It's like boom, boom. I get hit, boom, balls off.
That was a forward pass.
But the average guy, they take the hit, and that's it. They're finished.
Okay, 8th and 9th of July at the Heartfelt Arena in Pretoria. This has to end, but it doesn't have to end. If you just go there, get your tickets, make sure you go and watch this man talk. And who knows, by Monday, you could be giving me some money. Unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to Robert and thank him for the pearls of wisdom that he shared for us. Next up, I said we have a studio and television veteran, a radio television veteran. Find out who it is. We're coming back after the break. All right, let me see if I can find my words. Welcome back. Now, please allow me to be a modern day town crier because on the couch, I've got a radio and television legend who started his career back in 1989. He has entertained us on the biggest and best radio stations in the country. He is the reason some of us decided to get into the industry. The accolades he has received include the best radio presenter, the best TV presenter, rap artist of the year, breakfast show of the year, and may I just add that he was inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame in 2012. The man has done it all, he's seen it all, and his legacy will remain for generations to come. You have to help me in welcoming Mr. Bob Mabena. So we'll climb back on it.
Landing.
And he lands. Listen, when do you, because you hear it a lot, you're a legend, you're a legend, you're a legend.
Yeah.
And because humility teaches us that, you're just like, no, man, not me. But come on, chap. Surely there's one day where you wake up, you're like, yasn't he legend? Yasn't he legend?
No, I was raised by women, and there's not a single man who's had a hand in my rearing. So, I find that, on the balance, women actually really humble you. It's in the beatings and the scoldings, and you get humble.
And the silence there.
Oh, yes. My mother was really good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
You hear
I can
all
still
the
see
sentences, but nothing is coming out of her mouth.
Indeed. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yep.
You just heard everything.
You comply.
So tell me about this line, Asibali namhlanje. Your grandmother comes to wake you up so you can go write
Oh
an exam.
my gosh.
And you say, Asibali namhlanje. Roughly translated, we are not writing today.
Eish. No, man. We were, no, I was, oh, no, this is really bad. Matric year, we were going to write maths second paper. I had already bunked writing first paper. And I had been called to a club on a Sunday during the day because the festival had been cancelled. Okay. So I was playing Black Coffee, take note, I played longer. I played from about 12 midday until 6 the next day at a club.
And you're writing the next day?
And I'm writing the next day. So, I shared my timetable with my grandmother who raised me. And she woke me up. I said, no, we're not writing today. That's how I failed matric.
And then you went back to sleep.
Sound, beautiful sleep. No guilt at all, hey?
But, basically, you are your grandmother's child. Indeed. Is this why you're always layered and you're always warm? Because every time I see you, you're like, I'm not getting cold today.
I get cold very quickly.
Because you're a grandmother's child.
Yeah, Vicks and everything, man. You shouldn't even go to the spa. Every time there's a cough, I buy Vicks.
Like, right.
Yes.
I find you had such a warm relationship with her. It's like telepathic. You guys just knew each other.
Yeah. She was really something else, and I think, and I've seen it with some women where your grandchild becomes your child.
Yes.
And there's always that one.
Yeah.
And I think I was that one that she was like, this one is mine. You can go, Mukadi. You can go, because my mom was like, good time, baby.
Yeah.
Like, I'm out there, go.
Your parents were ballroom dancers.
Yes, champion ballroom dancers in the 70s. My mom and dad. I wish I had inherited some of it. But
yeah, I've seen you dance.
It's horrible.
This is why you decided to make people dance.
Exactly.
Like, as in, let me stand behind here.
I'm horrible. 2 left feet.
No, you packed 3 left feet. You packed an extra one.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
So you said something where you like, your kids would say things like, Dad, please don't embarrass us. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. On the outside, if your dad is Bob Mabena, there is nothing he could do to him. He's Bob Mabena. It's like having David Beckham as your dad.
There is just that one thing, though. There's all like dancing.
What?
It's like, I just can't do it. I really, and I'd love to. I grew up on the black and white musicals. Your Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers, And my dream is to learn how to tap dance. If I could do that, that would be like the thing for me. I could be like Sammy Davis Jr. That's the one thing one more thing that I gotta do. I gotta tap dance. I have to.
Do you know that there are really good dancers who can't tap dance?
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was like entry level. Like,
no,
that's your starter pack.
No, it's like Bob, really good dancers, tap dancers.
Wow.
So you're one of the, basically, you are in Joburg, you want to go to Pretoria, but you can't pass through Midrand.
Oh, okay. I feel you.
So,
damn.
Just carry on watching it.
Yeah. And the TMZ used to play those movies. They don't play them. Now they play 70s movies now.
Yeah, I watched.
There's color now.
Yeah, I watched it the other day and I was like, guys, Pretty Woman should not be on TMZ.
Thank you.
Like,
it's bad. It's really bad.
So, you say you guys, there was a point when there was 14 of you living in one house, but the beauty of that is that's 14 musical tastes. which is why your music knowledge
Indeed.
is quite vast,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
But of all the stories that stands out for me is the day you say your brother introduced you guys to Bob Marley.
Oh man, sure, that was something else. And you know, the funny thing is, before that, he had introduced us to a group called Supertramp. You know, and he used to have. He was the garden guy. He loved doing the garden. My late brother, and he used to cut the grass to Breakfast in America. You know, and it's a very rhythmic song. It's sort of like white guys trying a black thing kind of thing, and they do it very well.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden he brings this skanking thing, man. Do-do. It was unbelievable, coming from him as well. I mean, it was really incredible. Jeffrey was one of those guys. I mean, he was great at soccer. He was great at baseball. He started basketball in Atteridgeville. And he was a scout. And yeah, he was really fantastic.
So the love affair with Bob Marley, he puts it in, and what about Bob Marley grabs you so much?
The lyrics more than anything. You know, the beats and the bars are almost the same. There is a Bob Marley signature. But, you know, when you listen to Bob Marley lyrics over and over again, I don't want to wait in vain for your love. You know, as a matter of fact, I was juxtaposing that song, I Don't Want to Wait in Vain, with the song Nyake Fasiminya.
Which one?
You know,
Dipendule.
Mena lady, useke want. You know, Dipendule, yes.
Yes, because it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
It is the same lyrics. I was like, my gosh.
Yeah.
It is exactly the same. And you know, and for the life of me, I look at Bob Marley like he used to date Miss Jamaica, right? And then he married Rita Marley, right? And I look at Miss America, and I look at Rita Marley. And I look at Miss America, and I look at Rita Marley, and the song he was singing, I Don't Want to Wait in Vain, was for Rita Marley. That's love.
Not for Miss America.
That's love.
But I get that, though. That makes sense. Because, like, no, come on, we've seen that many times. No, guys. I'm telling you now. We've seen it before. How? Am I lying? We'll be right back now. And that was a bit of the story behind the makings of Bob Mabena, the jammer. We're going to unpack all of it now. When did you fall in love with radio?
I was in my just preteens. Because I was that kid that nobody saw. I could disappear. My imagination was always, you know, in that house with so many people. I was the one kid that wasn't a problem. Also, I was very sickly when I was a kid. So I never went outside to play with other kids. I mean, I always say this, that, you know, to date, there are people in my hood who always ask me, which one were you? They're like, no, you were not, you know. So I was that kid that was always in my own world, and radio did that for me. Radio put me in different parts of the world, and I could dream and I could flourish. Isn't
that such an asset when you are then finally on radio? Because radio presenters are a lot like comedians. You have to be observant. Because you must watch and then go and tell the story.
Yes, absolutely. And therein lies the key. You know, if you're not a great narrator, you'll be an average radio presenter. You gotta be able to find your voice and tell the stories the way you tell them, in such a way that when your listeners will know he's about to drop it, he's about to say it, he's about to say it, and when you know you're good at it, you get even better because you accentuate the part that makes you really great. So it gets better all the time.
That's profound. Yeah. When you know you're good at it, you will get even better.
Absolutely.
Because it also speaks to not having imposter syndrome and accepting what you're good at, and stop being apologetic about your talents.
Exactly. You just keep getting. I mean, I had nerves. I had to sit in for the breakfast show guy at Kaya TT on Thursday, and first time doing talk ever. Yeah. You know, at Kaya I was part talk, part music.
Yes.
Now this was like 3 hours of no music, Baba.
Just talk.
Like you keep talking.
This is the power.
I mean, I said to my wife, I couldn't sleep.
But is it not a beautiful thing that after 27 years you're still nervous?
Petrified. Program manager at Power was like, I'll come through at 4 o'clock in the morning. And he held my hand. You know, Ferdinand held my hand, and the producers and everyone, they were like, okay, cool, no problem. By the last hour, I was like, bring on another hour.
Okay, now. All right,
it was
now.
cool, but I still get nervous. Extremely, extremely nervous.
Okay, so you told me when you fell in love with radio. When were you first on radio?
I was first on radio quite by default. I'd like to say that it is, you know, I dazzled in an interview and it was really cool.
Yeah.
But I think some kind of godly intervention happened where a guy on the afternoon drive show on radio, Bob, happened to, because I was always there. I was always that guy, that pain in the behind.
But because you've not been visible.
I wanted to be there. You know what I mean? And I was a pain to these guys at Radio Bob. And unfortunately, something happened with Afternoon Drive Show guy. I think he chased the station manager with an okapi or something like that. And they had to get rid of him. And Abnamaditse, who's, I think is now at the SABC, if he hasn't taken pension, was like, there's a guy, man. There's a guy. Let's. And then it was like
always
audition. Yep, exactly. Audition. And I think what worked for me was that environment I grew up with where there was all sorts of music playing. And one guy who really didn't like the young guys auditioned me and he gave me like old jazz music. I mean,
And
I
you
was
were like-
18. I was like, my thing, Sonny Stitt, you know, Johnny Hodges.
Bring it, boo-boo.
Miles Davis.
Come
that was
through,
it.
mommy.
Happened. Aced it.
All right. You say there were older guys who didn't like the younger guys.
Yeah.
Let's be fair, that never changes.
No, it never changes.
Okay.
I mean, you think I like these upstarts? No, I don't like them. They didn't take my job.
And you know what's funny? When we talk about you, because you know, you just become a topic of conversation.
Of course, and you have a nickname.
Yeah. Like when we talk about you, like Bosizwe, like our generation of broadcasters,
Yeah.
the question that always comes up between us is, you know, to be fair, you could have had a TV station and a radio station by now.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah.
You've been my boss twice. When I first got to Prime Media, you were on the 6th floor.
Really?
Yes.
Yes, I was on the 6th floor.
Crisp white shirts,
Yeah,
executive parking.
suits and ties
Exactly,
and stuff. Yeah,
right?
yeah. Oh my goodness, you were in the building at that time?
Yes.
Okay.
I did nights. When I first got to the SABC at 5 FM to do lunch with Grant, you were head of radio.
Yes, that's correct.
You dabble between being a boss and being on air.
Yes.
Why can you never pick a side?
Because I can do both, which is what I'm doing now.
And is that a viable thing? You can do
Yeah, it's
it.
a viable thing. I mean, you know, people would say to me, you know, look at Given Curry, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, he never did prime time, you know? He
Yes,
did
yes.
talk, and now he owns not one, two, and now another 2 radio
An
stations.
array.
I never wanted to own a radio station. I never wanted to own, what I want to own is a restaurant by the sea, and I want to live on a boat. You know, that's, in the end, that's what I want to do. I want to own a restaurant that I can open when I want to and cook pasta, you know, with some veal or salmon or something like that.
Pair it with some
Radio
wine.
station. And then, you know, I'll have a show on a Sunday where they can allow me to get in there with my, you know, my Jack Daniels and, you know, and I'm cool.
But I just feel like, because even when they said, oh, Bob's leaving Kaya, he's going to MSG, he's getting an executive position there, I literally looked at my boss, Ravi Naidu, and I said, these are my words. I said, let's see how long it takes before Bob's behind the microphone. And literally, when they were like, Bob will be doing a weekend Yana show, I'm like, yeah.
No, you know, it was funny because the idea, and I think it's common knowledge now,
Yeah.
the idea was, you know, come on over and do the breakfast show on Power. And I was like, guys.
And they've been watching you for a while.
Yeah, and I was like, it doesn't make sense. 180 with Bob was on a trajectory and it was doing very well. There was no reason for me to leave Kaya. None whatsoever. And I was like, give me something else. And, you know, Given put together a fantastic deal for me that would put me, in that position that I was in at the SABC when I was running Metro 5 and Good Hope, you know. I loved that position because I traveled quite a bit. I used to be a bad traveler. I used to hate traveling until I got that job, you know. So Given gave me a deal that I couldn't say no to. I have a Saturday show, 4 hours. I do mixes, you know, I work with the clock. I mean, I have 20 past, 22, 10 to, bang. That's it for 4 hours, and that's it. And I do mixes too.
You know about your other nickname, Boomerang Bob?
That's a prime media name. Sorry, that's a prime evil name.
They call him Boomerang Bob because he's been to every radio station twice. So if he leaves, don't worry. He's on the way back. Listen, we'll be announcing the winner of our weekly competition at the end of the show. But for now, more from our guest, Bob Mabena. Come back to us. So we've played that one before. There's another video I want to play. It's a bit of a surprise for our guest. Do we got it? Do we got it? Let's check it out.
They kid.
And now. Okay, I'm just going to carry on. You guys will let me know. You'll let me know. Let's read your tweets. Apparently, you are the King Don Fire of radio.
Wow.
According
nice.
to Nolwazi_M. Uncle Bob's laugh always makes me miss him, man. Bob Mabena is a legend. He's one of the best radio personalities. Dude, do you know that you're called the Don of radio?
I had no idea. That's a new one. Legend
Yeah.
I've heard, but Dawn of Radio, I haven't heard that one.
The Don
That's
of
pleasing.
radio.
That's
Okay,
pleasing.
finally, we have our ducks in a row. Let's go. We love you, Skumba. We love you. So April marked an emotional time for our guest, Bob Mabena, when he decided to hang up his mic to pursue a much bigger and well-deserved role as group head of programming at MSG Africa Group. He used to work with Skumba on breakfast, and you groomed him, hey.
He was groomable. You know that there are people that you can do stuff with,
Okay.
and people you just can't, like, no, dude,
Yeah.
this is not for you. And I have an ear for that. You know, there are people, I've only been ever wrong twice in my life about talent. One was Lebo Matosa. She said she wanted to sing. I said, no, you can't sing.
Oh, wow.
And the other one was Fresh. But with Fresh, it wasn't like you can't be on radio. I was like, Joe, you're awkward. You know, you're awkward. Exactly.
My goose.
You're awkward. Only those two times. You know, sometimes there are people who are on radio now that I told, you shouldn't be there. And I know they know.
They still.
Yeah, they
shouldn't
know.
be
They know.
there.
Yeah.
Who made you a better broadcaster?
Oh man, so many people. Some of them have passed on. Paul Ward is one guy. American guy, chain smoker of note, married a woman from Brits. He was from California. Her name was Ansi, and he used to call her Ans. But Ansi divorced him and took the cat. So, and moved to New York. So the girl from Brits divorced a guy who married her from
California.
LA and moved
And
to
then she moved to New York.
Yeah. Paul Ward was fantastic. I spent about 6 weeks with him in LA. That's when I learned about radio, and the love for traveling really started to happen. Stan Kaz is one of them. Rena Bloomberg.
Oh, Rena.
Rena is like a radio goddess.
Yeah.
She is fantastic. She's really quite great. There's one other, but I forgot. But also Abna Marise. He was one of those finer detail kind of guy. You've got to do it right. You've got to do it this way and that way.
Attention to detail.
Absolutely.
Attention to detail.
Yeah.
And when it comes to, because you say you can identify the talent, and you've only been wrong twice, but I mean, Lebo was singing, it wasn't about radio.
Yeah.
What do you see immediately when you are looking at talent? Like, what do you look out for and you go, there it is?
There's something about the eyes that don't lie. There's something about realness. Back in the day, when I was growing up at least, you could do this is radio, whatever, and get away with it. Now, consumers are more savvy. One little fake thing, they've got you. The eyes cannot lie. When someone is not being real, and radio is about realness. If you're not real, you'll get caught out, and that's it for you. So,
which is why radio presenters work better on TV. This is why you're then transitioned from being on radio to stuff like Pikachu.
Works so much better.
It was total ease, right?
Absolutely. But I've never liked TV, hey?
Really?
It takes
You were
too
quite
long.
good at
There's
it.
the makeup and this and that and the other. Radio, come as you are, leave as you are. Yeah?
But you were quite good at it. I mean, Studio Mix was the backbone of our youth.
It was also live. That's the nice thing about it. There was no cut or
Okay.
anything. If I said something, which I did 9 times out of 10, said something stupid too or
It's
about
like
Melanie.
Melanie would look at you waiting for you to mess up. She's like, well, this is usually when you say something wrong, Bob. Please come through with your consistency.
Yeah,
Yeah?
Every time it happened, it was all live. So because it was live, there were no cameras, people disappeared in front of me. And I think the vibe between me and Melanie was just so fantastic to the extent that people actually thought we even dated. But we were such fantastic
I
friends,
remember that
you know?
article.
Yeah, it was all very silly.
It was, but you guys were close, because I remember she had a stalker at a stage, and because of that, you'd make sure that you're the one who drove her home.
Absolutely, I
you
drove
guys
her
were
home.
Scared about it.
Yeah.
And the one time you had to drive like a maniac to try and get away from this person who was stalking her.
Absolutely.
So that's when I was like, guys, this is the brother-sister relationship.
It was indeed, and I became friends with her late brother as well. I mean, if the stalker knew about Melanie's brother, he wouldn't have tried. That was like a hot
I was about to say,
no, he was.
Melanie,
the stalker didn't know.
So your kids are your everything, and I love that.
Yeah.
And I think they're your first audience before we are, right?
Yeah.
What do you want them to learn from you, but just by watching you, you're not telling them?
Realness. You know, there's something, as I said, the eyes don't lie, you know? And even my wife knows this, man. I tell one little lie, that's it for me. You know, and it's how to be real with people, no matter who they are. If someone is being crappy to you, be real. If someone is being, and I learned that only later in life. I used to be that guy that, don't say that. You know, it might hurt the person and all that. Now, I'm like, dude, you know what, that's really crappy. Or, great work, you know? So, realness in everything that you do. You want to go left, go left. You know, you want to go right, go right. You want to be EFF, BFF.
Yeah.
You want to hang out with Anele and Gitama, hang out with the guy. Burn some bags, it's fine.
Stalk some journalists.
Exactly. You know, just be real about it.
Just be real about it.
Yeah.
What's your favorite mistake?
My favorite mistake is, I laugh at myself when I did this, and I think you had one of the pictures. I shaved my mustache. My word. I looked like, it was bad.
You look like you're missing. You know those photos that they put up when people are missing?
Not gonna happen again. But it was funny. Even I laughed at
What
myself.
was it, a dare? Did you lose a bet?
No, I just, it's so thick. And sometimes it bothers me, like Tom Selleck, you know? Magnum PI, you know? And I decided one day, let me just shave this thing. No, it was bad. It was really bad.
Will you ever move out of Pretoria?
I probably will, and I'll go back.
Boomerang Bob.
Look, Pretoria is like, that's my life, man. That's like the place of jazz, the place of masterpieces Moripe, Thomas Madikage. Miriam Makeba once lived in Atteridgeville, you know. It's that thing, your former boss, you know.
Did you see the threads, Sipitori? People are being taught how to speak Sipitori.
But that's just the problem with it. It always changes.
Usetika one bar. It's my favorite.
Yes.
This is when someone is critical but stable. But usetika one bar. He's mentally challenged. Ushapile top.
That is so true.
Can I please have 10 rand? Fair jacket.
Jacket, yeah. Jacket.
Give us more.
Choco.
What's choco?
Choco is 20 rand. It's brown. It's like chalk, you know.
Udese?
Udese. Oh, you're the bar.
Udese.
Oh, my, you know, Udese. Udese. Lidonga, you know.
What's Lidonga one?
Lidonga woman.
Oh.
Lidonga, but not just any woman. Like, really, like Miss Jamaica.
Yeah.
Not Rita.
So why is it Lidonga?
You know what? I think some guys sit on a corner, smoke nyaupe, and come up with these words. Because nyaupe is our invention from Pretoria, you know. We own it.
That's yours too.
You gotta own it, you know.
Sundowns, nyaupe, and desert.
All of it, the good and the bad, you gotta own it.
And you take
Mavuzo, you know. Unfortunately.
You know, like 27 years, we've known you're a household name, but something feels like you're only starting now.
I feel that way too.
Okay.
I've got to be honest, I feel that way too. I got off air this morning at 9 o'clock, and I think at about 8:30, my wife was like, she sent me a text like, okay, slow down. You're having too much fun, you know. And I think that's about it. Every day, I have so much fun. Every day. Every day I look at my son, I'm like, you know, it's like I was saying to someone this morning that, you know, it's amazing how after all these many kids that I have, every one of them feels like a new kid. Every one of them. It's like I look at my boy right now, Eliahu, and I'm like, wow, I love this kid.
And on that note, we are out of time. Please continue. Don't stop. Stop it, I like it. Continue. What a journey and what a pleasure to have the legend Bob Mabena on the couch. It is going to be a pleasure to watch what he comes up with next. And thank you so much to Robert Kiyosaki, who joined us earlier. Before I go, a big congratulations to Puleng Palole from Bloemfontein. You win yourself a 5,000 Rands e-gift card from our sponsors. We'll check you on Monday, 5 p.m. SABC 3, the stage is yours. What's it, vamos? What a king of Pretoria? Don't dance.